It is in the Vatican. If somebody is ready to take a plan, I will give you the address. The same ambassador, the church they built, the last king, they killed him in 1896. This book was written by a British named Sir Edmund Jean Morel. This book is entitled Red Rubber. I always travel with my dream team, which is composed by my wife and our three picnics. So, when I read this book, I said a humanitarian, a British, Sir Edmund Jean Morel. He died in 1922. He was the first person to defeat Winston Churchill. He wrote a book called Red Rubber. It is very difficult to find, but if you go to the British Library, you can find it. When you want to maintain people in ignorance, you keep the truth. I'm going to Brussels with my family, which is my dream team. I always travel with them. This is my daughters, my son, and my wife. I always travel with them. We visited more than 52 countries in Europe. I sacrifice my material comfort to do research because I love my people. I always travel when I can by car because it's the best means to learn geography. We are in Brussels. We spent 4 years to study in Brussels because it's not too far from France. I would like to show you a place. They call it Tervuren. It is in Brussels. Look at this big castle. You have all the things the Belgians stole in Africa. And King Leopold II built this castle with the money who come from our continent. All the things the Belgians stole, it's inside. And I filmed all the castle. I spent 4 years, and I filmed one by one all the objects because I'm passionate. This is me. Let's go inside. You have a lot of secret inside. It's strictly forbidden to film, but I know how to steal the proofs. Because if they don't want to show you the truth, I have to steal. I'm obligated to steal. People must know the truth. This is King Leopold, the second king of Belgium. He was the owner of a country bigger 76 times than Belgium, Congo. He was the owner of a country. That means we Congolese were the slaves. Look how big is Congo. This one is a piece for the Portuguese, this one for the Belgian, and this one for the French. This guy is a British. He's very popular in England. His name is Sir Henry Henry Morton Stanley. He worked for the Belgian king. We African, we call him Bulamatai. That means the man who break the stones, because killing for him was like a game. This is African resistance. They say we sold. So how can you sell when you fight? I found it in the museum, not in Africa, in Belgium. It's clearly written. The African resistance. Resistance doesn't mean to sell. When you resist, it's not to sell. This is our king. He said, let's go. We are ready to die. They will not seize our land. And we resisted. I'm in the museum. Women's resistance. The boat our king sent to fight the Belgian. You are in the Congo River. We did what we did with what we had. Look at my ancestors, how they resist. Look how strong they were. Today, if you want to be like this, you need to go to the gym. People were healthy. White people, if they came without weapon, they could not take one of us. It would be a massacre. I found it in the museum. Spears we use. That's the only weapon we had. They had fire weapons. We could not compete with them because they got military technology. When you live quietly in a sunny place, you have a lot of food. You don't think about war. Europeans live in the cold countries. So, you know, they need to fight all the time, even today. In 1945, they killed 20 million people in Russia. 20 million people during what they so-called the Second World War. It was not the Second World War, this was a tribal war in Europe. This is the weapon Stanley used to kill black people. I found it in the museum. You can see them. I have the witness, it is in French. Congo, le temps colonial, things are very clear. I will translate it. I need to come back because I have a lot of movie and I will translate it. I didn't have enough time. The conquest. They started to burn the villages because the goal of the European was to erase all traces of civilization in Africa, to justify slavery and colonization. Look at people in the village. You have to stop to cultivate to defend yourself. And when you fight all the time, You cannot have food to eat. You see, they completely burn the village. We are in Africa, not in the West Indies. Look how they whip, like in the plantation. They use a black man to do it. Divide and rule. It's the same strategy till today. That's why black people fight each other. Till today, everywhere in the world, except in the authentic African villages. The same thing, it's the same story. They cut the end when you didn't bring enough rubber. They cut the end of your picnics. If you bring enough, they don't cut. If it's not enough, they cut one. If it's not enough, they cut another one. Sometimes in a family, they could cut more than 8 hands. You see them, this is an end, 2 ends. This is end, this one, another one. You see them? If you don't bring enough, they cut the end of your picnics. So you are obligated to work hard because you want to save them. They say that we sold. They accuse it. And people, black people are confused. You know, they say, it was the African who sold it. I used to hear it, and I'm vexed. Everywhere in the West Indies, it's a song. You see this guy? He's sorry. You have 3 hands. Another one. It was in 1949. Look at this. This is a church. A church. Because the church was involved in slavery. It is the truth. I'm not going to accuse all the priests. No confusion. But it's truth that the church was involved in. I got a movie and you'll see Pope Pie XII blessing weapon in 1935 to genocide the Ethiopian. That's why I gave up my Christian name to take an African name. My name is Ngombulu Yasangi Yaminabantu. That means the lion who ate the hunter. Now you know why I changed my name. Look at this. Our history is painful. I have a witness of a Belgian. On a tiré 2838 cartouches. We use 2,838 bullets. It was a game for them to kill. 2,838. I found it in the museum. On a tiré 2838 cartouches. Il veut montrer qu'il a été économe parce qu'une circulaire se plaint qu'on tire trop de cartouches pour rien. Et 1346 personnes tuées. They killed 1,346 natives in a village because it was a game, like in a casino. They burned 162 villages. I didn't write it. It's come from the museum. They wanted 1,562 chairs of rubber. This is a witness. It was written in the 16th of February, 1895. Slavery was abolished in the British West Indies. This is the man who did it. He took some blacks. They used the same strategy in the West Indies. You have the House Negro, the prosperity of Belgium. They built a railway. It's 546 kilometers. They built it with by hands, with the hands. Yeah, you see? You have to break the rock. Look how solid is the rock. Look at them. This is the place where it was the first prison. This is the workers. You see how strong they are? The last resistance in Africa. The last resistance. This is the traitor. You know, they wanted to become white. As you can see them. They call them in French, les évolués. That means smart people. Neo-colonialism. Submission of the natives. The involvement of the church. The strategy to wash the brain of the black people. It is very clear. This is, look at the priest. By force, you have to be Christian. If you don't accept it, they will cut your hand. Look at the priest with the mosquitoes. Because they didn't consider us as human beings. All the village, you have to give up your, you see. This is the priest whipping a native. If you don't accept, I whip you.